Well, good afternoon to you all. So, this now will be my review for Fairy Tail 347 chapter called Red, Blue and Blonde Hair Fight. And well, first of all, this starts with a very good news that it was already spoken and some reviewers already talked about it, and even in some forums, the new uh, already came out a few weeks ago. That and the new is that Fairy Tail anime will be returning. And in the in the cover page with Frosh of this chapter, we do have the confirmation that the anime series is returning. So I'm quite pleased by that. Uh, and I think I already overcome the situation with how the tournament arc ended and such. So well, why not? But going to the review, this chapter was a very interesting chapter, uh, mainly for the character of Flare Corona. Um, and in this chapter, we do learn that Flare appears and eventually saves Lucy and Wendy from the treasure and guild. And then basically, when asked why she is here, she kind of jokes with Lucy, saying that she's stalking Lucy and such. That's funny. But then she reveals the truth that basically she decided, after meeting Lucy and the others after the tournament, she kind of decided to return home. And basically, his hometown is this village, the Sun Village. And the crest that she has in the upper part of his chest is apparently the crest of this village, the crest of the Eternal Flame. And we learn that basically Flare was raised in this village by the giants. And that's interesting and also adds character development and alongside story progression, and that was interesting. Then basically, Flair, Wendy, and Lucy basically kick the ass out of the treasure hunters and send them flying away. And well, we have a lot of comedy situations between Cancer when he's treating Flare Air. We have the and we kinda in the, at least in my case I kinda become more fond of the character of Flare because she has a more, let's say, not so psychotic expression as he possessed or she possessed during the tournament, but she's kind of more, let's say, normal in a way, more tender in his expressions and in the way she expresses her feelings and her gratitude to Lucy and Wendy. So this was very interesting. Well, now the treasure hunters are out of the way. I doubt that we will ever see them again, most likely, but I must say that they actually did put up a good fight. Not an amazing one, but they did fight, and they kind of bring some troubles for the group, and that was interesting to see that. And basically, we learn a little about Flair past, and apparently she will have some way, let's say, important role in the least in this part of the story, and that's interesting. And like I did say a couple of minutes ago, this brings story progression because the story did progress, not only because of Flair and Flair explaining why she is there, but because the treasure hunters were defeated, and that's done. So, and we have um, character development also on the part of Flair, in the least in his expressions, his facial expressions, and we also, like always, we have fan service, but that's also part of the plot, but it's not in excess as some that happens in some chapters of Fairy Tail. So on the overall, I will say that this was a good and interesting chapter. So, and the chapter, from what I read, chapter 348 will be the returning of the demon or something like that. So I do wonder what is the demon they alluded at the last page of this chapter. So this is interesting. I like this chapter. Was the pacing was good. The stuff was solved, and had story progression and character development. So it was a good and interesting chapter. So this is my review for Fairy Tail 347. Hope you enjoy. Stay well. Peace. See you soon.